Okay, I'm already recording it so that we can have it for the future if you want to access it, like in the Teachers App YouTube channel. It's not broadcasted to YouTube. I'm recording it to Zoom for the moment. Okay, so the content I'm going to share is more than content. It's life. It's about life, and this is going to be. It's going to touch your life. But since we are people who are related with others, we are going to start thinking, oh, this content, this conversation should be heard by X person. But I would like you to invite you to bring you back to you and say, no, this is for me. Because there is a principle. I don't know if you have seen in the children cradle, there is this mobile that is sometimes it has like 3 toys and the music sounds and I think Herbert, you have children, and so when the music sounds, the mobile would move and one of the 3 little toys will move, and this one will bring along the others. So you are the main, the leader, I would say. You are the toy leading your mobile, the mobile of your family, the mobile of your institution. You are the one. If you change, if you move in one direction, and this direction can be the dark direction or the light direction, if you move in this direction, other people in your life will move in the same direction. I promise it. And I'm going to give you an example so that you can actually see that this is true. When we are in a meeting, and there is always a colleague that's always negative and always complaining. If the first person who raised their hand to give an opinion on how the meeting should be conducted is the negative one, the whole meeting will go in the direction of this person. And everybody will start seeing the black points in others. But if the positive person, the future-oriented person, the one that likes solving the problems, speaks first, then everybody will connect with this idea. So one person, it takes one person to change the whole trajectory of the environment. Do you believe in this? Say yes or no. Like, you can say no, okay? I agree. I really love when, yes, very good. Yeah, thank you for the thumbs up. This is going to help me really see that you are connecting. So now today, we are going to explore some things that might not be new to you. They might not be new to you, but they, if you are open to see one different viewpoint of these 4 points that I'm going to share, if you say, okay, I'm going to try to see what else I can add, then you're going to find great knowledge, and not only knowledge, but like 4 tools, as if you have 4 pencils, 4 markers, 4 computers that can help you create a better environment. And so, since here, our objective will be to reduce mental exhaustion. And mental exhaustion, when you listen to me talking about mental, I'm not speaking only about the brain, okay? The mind is our psyche. This is when we say mental, it means our mind, our psyche, and another word for psyche and mind is our soul, our little hearts, our beautiful, tender, and warm hearts. Sometimes we are heartily exhausted. And this is heavy for us. So we are going to discover these 4 critical points that are not new, that you already know, but today you might assess how you, in what level you are actually making these 4 points like your, I would say, like the fuel of your relationships. And I promise you that if you increase these 4 points, your success in whatever you want, health, finance, relationships, liking yourself, will actually increase. And why am I saying this? Because I am a victim of this one, okay? I say victim. I am a product, and this is why it works. Let's start by examining some points that we actually it's like a basis, the basis of human beings, okay? There are 2 things that all human beings really long for. There are 2 things that make us feel alive. And some people who have been in training with me, I wish they are here, and they say, what are the two human most seek for aspirations? It's like the 2 principles of happiness for every human being. Every one of us have 2 principles, two things that we aspire, that we look forward to, so that they will make us feel happy. What are these? Let me see if somebody dares. Okay, yes, these give us mental peace. They give us mental peace. I'm gonna say them right now so that you're not all over the places. Number one, exactly, Melvin. There you go. Oh yeah, Melvin, you seems to be my student for a long time in Teachers App, maybe. Belonging, belonging. This is one of the things that we all long for. Belonging. Can you type it in the chat, everybody, so that you're not all over the place? Can you put belonging in the chat? And I'm going to explain how this happens, okay? Yes, yes. Thank you for putting in the chat, because here we have 88 different minds. And if we're not on the same point, everybody will take this, whatever they please it more. Okay. When we were born, it took for us 18 years to move out of our house, hopefully. Some of you 18, some of you 25. So it took you, I don't know how long. Can you put in the chat, when was the last time you depended on your parents? I depended on my parents maybe until the age of 24, because my father gave me my first education, and until 24, 23, I started working as a teacher. Okay, Julio, you're at the age of 18. Ana Cristina, you started earning your living at the age of 15. That's wonderful. Yes, good. What would have happened if your parents, when you were born, in the next minute, your parents would have said, bye-bye, Monica? Oh, what could have happened if Melvin, if Aida, and if Lisbeth would not have had the protection of your family or whomever brought up you? What would have happened? Yes, Alvaro, you would be sad. And more than that, what else? What could have happened if nobody would have taken care of us for a long time? Put it in the chat. Not only sad, what else what would have happened? Would you have died? Probably, yes, Maria del Rosario. I like that you have the cameras because I interact with you more. I can see you more. Yes, we wouldn't have survived, Alvaro. It would have been very difficult, Ana Cristina. Exactly. Yes, Ana Patricia. Oops. Exactly. That is why the number one desire, and write it down, and we look for this every single day in every single environment, is to feel part, to feel belonged. And the main sources of conflict is because, one, we do not know how to feel part, how to actually make ourselves part, or two, because others would not allow us to be part, right? Yes, I think you are connected. So this is number one. And I said there were two main needs that every human being has. The second one, and this is why you're here, for the second one. Oh, very good. Herbert, you wrote purpose. You're very close. Very, very close. Very, very close. Vision. Victor says vision. Yadira says identification. All of you are very, very close. Growth. Yes, Yvonne Leon. That is the second most needed part of our lives. We really want to feel that we are growing. That's why the research says they have made research on people who retire from work and do not dedicate to other things. They live no more than 10 more years. Is it terrible? Why? Because we all have this like a need to feel that we are still existing, that we are good for something, right? So in this battle, and there is a problem. There is a problem between belonging and being unique, recognized. Okay, growth is important for one reason. Growth is important because we want to be recognized as somebody unique, somebody that has something to offer. This is why it's important, because we want to belong, but at the same time, if you remember your 2-year-old child or your 4-old child or your teen children, they actually want to like separate from you, from your parents, from the parents. They want to separate. Why do they want to separate? Because they want to prove that they are someone distinct from others. So how are you finding this I would call it unbalance between wanting to belong and still wanting to grow? Do you think it's kind of weird? It's not, because this is actually what makes us humans. Now, remember I said that we live in mobiles. What is a mobile again? It's not the phone. It's not the mobile phone. Can you put a picture, anybody, a picture of find a picture on the web of a mobile from the cradle so that everybody knows what a mobile we're talking about? Yes, Yes, very good, Herbert. I really like that. Write down what Herbert is saying. You need to feel that what you do matters. Exactly. Okay. Okay, now, in this balance that we want to create between belonging and making ourselves uniquely valuable, in this we are always seeking for this. And sometimes the way we seek for this may not be the most positive, the best way, the most human oriented, the one that creates the peace every day. And this is the main source of conflict. And so today we are going to discuss, and because I know it's noontime, I would like you to allow me to make a break after 1 hour. So at 12:30, we are going to have a 15-minute break so that you can drink water, so that you can do some things. Okay, so then, now you can start writing. We said that we are covering 4 critical points for reducing mental exhaustion. And you will see this is something you already knew, but maybe today you will see those 4 points in a different way. And now I'm going to start showing the points so that you take notes. Okay. So then this one here, these points could represent main sources of conflict when they are in a very low level. Let's write it down. Let's put it in the chat. The 4 points may represent sources of conflict when they are in a very low level in us. And I want you to put that one because the points are positive. But if we reduce the level of these points in us, they will cause us a lot of trouble. I'm gonna put it because nobody is putting in the chat. Maybe I already lost you. I would say yes, in lower levels, I'm gonna say lower levels of these 4 points cause conflict. Okay. Now, I will show you a conflict that we all know. And this is the first one is when our discipline level is low, this is going to make us sick and it's going to make everybody else sick. So number 1, this is point number 1. Number 2, a second point that, let me see if I'm frozen. Am I back? I saw myself a little frozen.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
I can.
Thank you, Patty, for telling me. So this is the first one. If my discipline level is low, this is going to cause a huge conflict. Number 2, low levels of service. In my country, there is an institution that nobody wants to visit. Nobody. Because this institution is the institution in which they will make you wait. They will treat you as if you're not sick. I don't want to mention the name of the institution. They will not have like the heart to really feel how you're feeling at the moment. And so you feel that the levels of service in this institution actually reduces your value. Can you type in the chat that? Reduces the value. And I'm not going to ask you to put in the chat what institution you think I'm talking about, because maybe in Guatemala and maybe in other countries of Latin America, you have certain institutions too, in which you, like those who are, Catholics, we like, whenever we like go to a place where we know that it's not gonna be a good place, we kind of like, oh God, help me here. So let me see what you were writing on the chat. Yes, exactly. Lower levels of service translate to our customers, to our students, in the case of us, because we are all teachers, most of us, as they couldn't care less about me. And tell me, if you visit a store and they don't even pay attention to you and they don't treat you well, would you come back to this place? Say yes or no. Would you come back? Say never. Yeah, very good, Giovanna. You're reading. Yes, yes, yes. You know, right? Exactly, Daphne. I don't think so. We will not come back. But now, let's come back to ourselves. And the institution I'm talking to is not called Teachers Up, or it's not called, it's called Sandra. It's called Patricia. It's called Elena. It's called Marvin, Diana, Monica, Sylvia, Sarah, Francisco. So this is the institution that I'm talking about, because here I said this is for us. If our levels of service to others, and I'm going to give you just one example of levels of service that we can all relate to. At home, one level of service can be a very small one. To when you, after you brush your teeth, you use your toothpaste, you put it back, you put back the lid and leave it there. So this is one level of service. Another level of service in the very micro level, when you use the toilet, you flush it. Or after you take a bath, your bath is not wet. You don't leave it wet. Those are small levels of service that we all appreciate. At work, one level of service is after you drink a cup of coffee, you wash the cup, the mug, and do not leave it like all piling up in the sink. Those are levels of service. Can you give me more examples, please? Can you give me more examples on how, look at this, how you feel valued by others in your house? How do you, let's take the house. Let's take the house. How else do you feel valued in the house, in your home? Give examples. Like, okay, if you dirty something, you clean it. Close the door if it was closed. You speak loud to your mirror, reflect. When you listen to me, oh yeah, this is a bigger level. This is a bigger level, Cecilia. Very good, but it's a good one. That's for you. Helping with chores, turning lights off, helping around, help me out, help with house chores, say thank you. Yes, some moms, they cook, and guess what? They make lunch boxes for themselves, for their children, for their husband, and guess what? Their husband will not eat the food. Do you relate with that? their husband would bring the lunchbox or would complain, oh, this lunchbox, I have to carry it all over the blah blah. And then they buy hamburgers or whatever other in the office, and they bring back all the food that you invested your precious time cooking. Milvia, for you. Did you already put it in the chat, Milvia? You're hungry already? Okay. So let's go to our workplace. What is the level of service that you would expect from your colleagues? And we are not going to be personal here, but let's think about it. Your colleagues, to say hi, to support you, to greet you. Yes, definitely. To say good morning, at least return the good morning. A smile. Right. To listen when you speak, to help you, to be proactive, to sharing your materials, to greet you. Did you see how we are all? Did you check how many of us are relating to others? They want us to feel part, to greet you, because what happens if I say to Milvia, good morning, Milvia, and she goes like, my heart will be broken because I don't belong in her heart. And if I greet Milvia, and then Silvia, and then Julio, and then Maria Elena, and all of them, all four of them don't return the greeting, what do you think is going to happen inside of me? What will happen in my heart, in my soul? It's gonna feel uncomfortable. What else? Feel terrible, broken heart. I will be sad. I won't feel valued. I will have low levels of service too. Yes, I'll be down. I'll be sad. Mercelinda will not, will feel energized. Mercelinda, you'll feel energized. Yes, exactly. Now, on a level of 1 to 10, how eager do you think a person who has these feelings may be to do their difficult job? On a level of 1 to 10, how eager how enthusiastic will this person be? 0, 4, 5, 0, 3, 2. Exactly. Exactly. This is why. And so what happens if this repeats every day? What happens is that our sadness level will grow higher and bigger. So now my question is, who am I not showing? Don't put it in the chat. Who am I not showing that he or she is valuable to me? Who? I will play one music for 1 minute, and I will ask you to write down names of persons that you feel that you could show a little more service, in the sense that you could show that this person really values. 1 minute. 1 minute flies. Now, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write the names of the peers, of the people that you wish would show you more care to you. Write down. Who in your life you think should show a little bit more value to you? Like, show that they care for you. Okay. So, how do you feel now? Put in the chat. How you feel? How are you feeling? Yeah, wow, Antonio. I send you a hug, okay? You're very true to yourself. Thank you so much. I don't say like put like who, but if you did it, I can see here you guys are very true to yourself and that you're all in. You're all in, Diana. Your family, your pets, your friends, your coworker, your students, your boss. Yeah. Oh, you feel relaxed now. You feel better. You feel fine. I'm happy. Thank you, Ana Patricia, for the big hug. You're thoughtful. Yes. Yes, it's good. It's good to be thoughtful. Daphne is feeling good, grateful. Thank you for the kisses. Lucrecia is feeling relieved. Janet is feeling like, much better. Okay. Excellent, Giovanna. Exactly. This space is for you. This is exactly why Mercelinda was preparing this activity with so much enthusiasm because she wants all of you to start fresh and not only that but also to have those 4 elements. And if you want to make like a poster later in your office and put it there so that you remind yourself that how you can actually be happier, this is gonna be it's gonna make a change. You're gonna draw the line. All right, let's finish the other two. We are only like starting. So let's go ahead with the other 2 points. So we said the first one was low levels of discipline would make you suffer. Low levels of service will make us suffer. And there is one other thing. And this is something that it's just like, it's going to be mind blowing. And some of you won't like it. But this is going to be what is going to make the difference between the before and after. Take notes. I think, oh no, it's not this one. It's this one, the blue one. A weak personality. And I'm going to explain after the pause, when we come back, what it means to have low levels of, I translated as a weak personality, but in Spanish, when I give this training in Spanish, I call it like this: tarjeta de visita mental. That's That's the way I explain this in Spanish, which is not your not like your business card that you can make it beautiful, but it's like a skin card, something that others will feel even if you don't open your mouth. And I'm going to give you an example on how others can feel us. For example, I always give this example. When I when there is an assignment and there is like this committee, a committee that, okay, so today we're going to have these committees. One is going to do this, the other one's going to do this, and who's going to be in charge of the committee? And then you go like, let the others do it. I already worked 30 years in this institution and I'm not going to do this. Or, I don't know. Or this other thought. I'm sure I can do this. I am meant to do this, but I'm just so afraid to raise my hand because what if I failed? What if I messed up? What if I don't do a good job? What if I what if I what if others criticize me? What if others will not support me? What if others? So this means this weak personality means we do not give ourselves permission to be great. Can you put that in the chat? Sometimes we do not give ourselves permission to be great, to be better, to stand up. So, yes, yeah, you can call it low self-confidence, but it could be not training. Yes, yes, Melvin. We don't allow ourselves to be great sometimes because and write this down in huge words, we doubt ourselves. There is not a single factor preventing our happiness, our growth, that our self-doubt. And now I will tell you why we have this self-doubt. It's human nature. And guess why? Because some of us were responsible for ourselves until the age of 17. Some others until the age of 20. Some others until the age of 27. Some others are still living with our parents. And what happened in that time? We believed that we needed others to actually survive. And the problem is, if we never revise this thought, we will never be able to grow to what our heart really desires. Remember the two aspirations? Growth and belonging? You remember? If you one time are grumpy, is because either you don't feel that you're growing, as Herbert say, that you're not valuable, or because you are not feeling belonged, you're not feeling part. When you decide to abandon your job finally, is because either you're not feeling part or you think in this job you're not growing anymore. So one good thing is sit down to revise your expectations. What were your expectations with your husband when you married him? What were your expectations with your wife when you married her? What do you expect from your children when you have them? When you're working like 9 to 6, 7 to 9, 6 to 6 a day, and they are flunking their courses in the university? What are your expectations? When they fail in their courses or when they are misbehaving, this is heartbreaking because it's like you're working for nothing, right? So now we have only 9 more minutes for the break. And I will tell you something. Who in this room has had an experience with cavities and a tooth that hurts? If you have had an experience with a toothache, tell me, how does it feel to have a toothache? What is your overall feeling when you have a toothache? Can you put it in the chat? Terrible, Aida. Painful, terrible, Daphne crying, ugly. Body hurts, all the body. Awful, horrible, suffering, desperation. Exactly. Now, these 4 points, my dear colleagues, these 4 points are the nerve of our environments, the nerve of our well-being, the nerve of our problems in the family, in our workplace. In the case of the tooth, okay, then like to reduce the pain, what do they do? What do doctors do to reduce the pain? You can drink some some aspirin, some whatever, like, and it will go away. But you need, yeah, painkillers, Julio. Yes, thank you. But will it come back tomorrow? Yes. So painkillers is not the solution to get rid of a nerve that is actually hurting. What is the solution for a hurting nerve? Go to the dentist, and what do the dentists do, Aida? Drill and clean the area, Rosario. Canal treatment, Melvin. To pull the nerve, extract the nerve. Put in the chat, extract the nerve. Who are leaders here in this room? Who are in charge of other people? Just put it me. I'm not gonna, listen. Sometimes, as leaders, we have to play dentist. Have you ever played dentist? It's sometimes difficult to play dentist. But if we observe that one colleague is disrupting the peace in our environment because of his level of discipline, coming late every time, turning in assignments late every time, disrespecting the environment with loud music or any other type of disrespect, reducing that level of this person, you have to feel for them, because the reason why the person disrespects or reduces the value to the environment, it is for one reason. And this is going to change a lot your way of leadership. This person has a tremendous self-doubt, incredibly high fear on one side. And on the other hand, this person does not have positive patterns to seek belonging. And this is why the person, and I'm talking about students too, this can be for you, for your students, for your colleagues, for your family. And so one way they find is disrupting the environments. It means that his level or her level of discipline in tolerating not to feel part is very low. And since we all want to feel part, we will find any means, any way to actually feel, I will write it here, feel seen. Feel that others look at us, pay attention to us, that we are not ignored. Exactly, Melvin. Thank you for helping me. So, but if we continue to tolerate behaviors like this, it is like drinking the painkiller, but tomorrow the pain will be there. And I promise you, this will make all your even the registration, it's gonna lower in the university if there are many teachers like this. But if teachers have high levels of discipline, even if it's difficult, everything will change. And your pocket will thank you for that because you will have more money. Okay, 2 minutes. Let's write in the chat. So, what has been the most valuable idea so that you can really register this idea and make it your part of your life? So I'm gonna share the link with you. You put here your idea and we will have a 15-minute break until 12:45. And when you come back, I will give you tools how to increase your discipline, how to increase your levels of service, how to transform your personality to a personality that can be actually braver, and how to be preventive. Okay, so when I started training in 2015 about personal development, in 1 year, I was so thirsty of knowing myself, and I deep down, head on in the knowledge of personal development. And my German coach told me, if you were more disciplined, my German coach told me, what do you do? I'm an English teacher. I graduated licenciatura, profesorado, masters. And what does your sister do? Oh, she's an accountant. Is she an accountant as a professional or? Yes, she's a public accountant. Oh, no wonder why your sister had to be a public accountant, because she had to deal with all your indiscipline. And so I was like, okay. And so he said, the moment you raise your discipline, your income will automatically go up. And I was like, I don't understand how. I work in this university and the most they can pay me is this. But when I started complaining less, my same head of department, there was an opening for chairing a master's program in education in the university. And he said, ask Sandra, she can be the chair of the master's program. So from 2020, 2016 to 2000 last year, I was the chair of a master's program in education. And I started earning more. And during the pandemic, I started Teachers Up. And so now my courage, my service, when I decided to train other teachers, I earned the money from the university, the money from the trainings, and I started like earning so much. And I was like, oh, why didn't I do it before? So I increased my levels of service because I was not only in charge of the masters, but I was in charge of all the teachers in Teachers Up and my own trainees. And it's been for me incredible, like a lift, like if you go on an elevator that goes up and up and up. So last year I moved into the United States, got the courage to move in here with my teenagers. And this year I'm starting a leadership program for high school students so that they can go to the university for Latinos. And so it's incredible how life gives you when you say yes to you. And in the past, as I said, I did not believe in me. But the moment I started liking myself, believing in me, and increasing my levels of discipline, I started seeing a different future. And I am the same teacher with the same major, the same person. The difference is I am more willing to not be liked. And I'm going to write it this one because in the chat, I have the courage to be disliked. The moment we have the courage to be disliked, we start not pleasing others and we start making our lives more enjoyable. So, my dear friends, I will help you to see how it looks when our levels of discipline, when we the four that we got, all four things, discipline, personality, service, and prevention, when they are a very low level, we are actually causing something like very strange in our teams because and these levels, the lower levels of all these, it has one word, one word definition. And this word definition is called fear. Fear. That's the definition. So our levels of discipline are not higher because we fear to fail. Our levels of discipline is not higher because we feel to be embarrassed. We feel to lose face. We fear that others can take advantage of us. So all those fears. And that's why also our levels of service are really low because we fear to make a mistake. We fear not to have what it takes to put ourselves more in front. And also then we create this weak personality to protect ourselves from a fear that might not be even real. Can you imagine a person who has studied in Japan, in the United States, in Germany, and I did not have the courage to accept an internship in Harvard when I had earned it. That was before I started personal development. And so so everything was in my mind, everything, because I thought my English was not good and nobody will understand me and I would, all of those things. So when our levels of fear, when we have in our teams people who have higher levels of fear, lower levels of discipline, lower levels of service, lower levels of personality, It's like if we are like pulling on a rope, like you can see this here, and this picture here, like the people who you feel that are not pulling with us and they're pulling against us, they are pulling because they actually what they're suffering from fear. This is what it is. So as leaders, I give this training to people who want to become leaders, who want to become better leaders. As leaders, our job is to reduce the fear of these persons so that they can actually pull with us. And this can happen in a team. It can also happen like in a family. Sometimes the wife wants like has like greater ideas and the husband is like, no, let's not do this, let's play safe, let's blah blah. Or sometimes the husband wants to do it and the wife is like, no, no, you know, what if. So this is just because we haven't worked our greatest asset. And what is our greatest asset? Our greatest asset is our personality. The weakest our personality, the worst our life is. And so these 4 points, I'm not going to talk about prevention right now because of I will talk later. And this is self-explanatory. These 4 points suck the energy of our teams, suck our energy on a daily basis. But if we decide on this year to increase these 4 friends, they can become our superpower. Believe me. That's why I started with my story, and it's a real story. I'm not making up anything. So if you feel that somebody is sucking the energy of your team, work on the person's, of course, we don't call it fear outside the training. We call it self-doubt, we call it lack of courage, because nobody likes to admit that we have fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of making mistakes, so many fears that we have. Each of us have a different one. And so there is, if we grow, if we decide during 2026, I'm going to obsess at growing my personality, then what can happen is that we have to reduce the lack of peace that we have inside of us. If we reduce the lack of peace that we have inside of us by liking ourselves much more, can you write like this? Like myself. This is the number one job that you can do. If you only do this, if you only dedicate yourself to make things that make you like yourself. I don't say love yourself. I say like yourself, because we can love ourselves, but we don't like ourselves sometimes. So if you work on liking yourself, then you will be more peaceful, you will be happier, and you will not create trouble anywhere. So, how do we go about liking ourselves? Since this is a very short training, I'm gonna give you one very simple hint. Okay. The first thing that you need to do to increase your self-like, your self-love, is to fulfill your own promises. Can you write that down? Follow on your promises. And do not start promising Everest. You know what Everest is? Okay, what is your Everest? For example, if I am shy and I say, I'm not going to be shy, this is Everest without training, like climbing up the Everest without training. So you need to start with one candy. All right? So a candy can be, for example, train in something simple, like the people who train with me, I have them like for 1 week consecutive flossing their teeth at night. It's like this. So I'm gonna floss my teeth every night, or standing in front of the mirror and on the pose of Superman or Wonder Woman every day for 15 days, or making 20 sentadillas every time I'm going to take a shower, but every time, and or reading only 1 minute a day, only 1 minute, because when you fulfill your own promises, you are telling yourself, oh, I can follow on promises. Oh, I'm a person who follows on his word, her word. And gradually, you're not going to only read for 1 minute, but you're going to also be able to read for 5 minutes. And gradually, you're not going to do only 20 sentadillas before the shower, but you probably want to go like half an hour on a walk. And gradually, so you need to experiment that you are a person who values her own or his own word, but with small things. And all of a sudden, you're going to be increasing bigger things, more courageous things, and you're going to enjoy yourself more. Do you know why? I will tell you this story real quick because it's important. I have a daughter, 16 years old. She had inattention, not the whole TDAH, but only inattention. So she was not doing good in first grade, second grade, third grade. And one time her teacher met me and told me, oh, you're the mom of Valerie. Yes. Oh, a Valerie le cuesta. This was in El Salvador. A Valerie le cuesta aprender. And I was like, yes. You know, and so in fourth grade, there was the pandemic. And so we were at home. In fifth grade, her teacher chose her for the dance team, and she became such a great dancer that in sixth grade she was already teaching other children how to dance for Dia del Maestro. So they would call her, Valerie, can you make the choreo for us? And so she was getting so much like power within her that you will not believe me that Valerie has never failed a course in her life. Seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, she did in El Salvador, and here she started for primer año de bachillerato in the United States in the honor roll for 2 consecutive periods. So what happened between before and after? Valerie liked herself a lot more. Thank you for sending me the love. This actually doesn't even belong to me. It belongs to her. And it belongs to this teacher who believed in her. This teacher who had high levels of service and could observe in this little girl that she was good at dancing. And she believed in her because of him. It was a man. I loved him, Professor Cesar. So life can change at any age if you only like yourself. Because if you grew up with a stigma that A ella le cuesta aprender. Oh, he has a hard time learning. Oh, he's that. Oh, wow. That's a hard thing to carry like a burden for your all your life. But if you get rid of it by liking yourself, then this is the key. Is the key for increasing your beautiful life. Okay. So I have to explain that these four levels, these four vampires, I will call them, or superpowers, they start in the micro level. They start in the micro level, and I'm going to explain how a micro level of lack of peace can happen. We have an assignment. We have to grade. Let's say we are all teachers and we have to grade essays. Most teachers have a hard time grading essays from their students' writings. And so let's say that a micro level is micro, okay? It's time to grade all your assignments, the writing of your students, and you have all the papers, and then you have the stack of papers that you have to grade here, and you have next to you the phone. So how the levels of indiscipline start? Okay, I'm gonna check my phone real quick. Okay, this is only one time, this is micro. But then the next day, you have emails to answer. Oh, I'm going to check my social media first. Second time. So this micro decision is training you for life. So what are the micro decisions? Micro decisions can be una Coca-Cola in the morning every day. Micro decisions can be one pan dulce every day. Micro decisions can be postponing little things every day. Those are like micro decisions that can actually build up into macro levels of conflict. And I'm gonna like go with another example. And wait a minute, I'm muting my friend here. Yes, so we all know how the macro levels happen when we accept a credit card. And so we decide to buy a pair of shoes or I don't know, something. But gradually, all of a sudden, this micro decision is so huge that it has all of us, all the family in debt, about to get divorced and everything. So nothing started with a debt of 10,000, 50,000, $100,000. Everything started with a debt of $100 to $25 or quetzales in the case of Guatemala. So that's why I said I will not talk about prevention until I talk about prevention, because prevention is actually what opens or closes our levels of happiness or our levels of frustration. If there is one thing that we can actually work on, is on increasing our preventive levels. How preventive are we being? And you know why? I would say Mercelinda had a great idea. And this is a prevention training because she wanted to give you like some gift at the beginning so that you have like tools for the year. So how preventive are we when we plan meetings? How preventive are we when we plan for the year? How preventive are we being when we plan our health? Are we planning our retirement? Are we planning? How preventive are we being to plan for the future, in the sense that we are all growing? I don't say old, I say we're growing experienced. Yeah, so are we preventive? So this is good. And one more last tip is to never, please, I will talk about taboos. There is a taboo, and we have to just get rid of this, that the problem that we have, why we say no, is because we are afraid of the task. There is never a problem of the conflicts that we have in the daily, day to day, is not because of the situation or the task, but because of the relationships. So if there is one thing that we need to take care of, is the relationships. And I'm going to explain this with an example of how observe this. When you assign, let's say we assign a group of students one task, and there is one person in the group. Think about a team of 5 students. There is one of them who is not who is doubting himself or herself in the team, or and it's, let's say, disturbing the others. The job, the task will never advance until you fix this person. So whenever you have a problem, you need to have the courage, and that's why it takes discipline, the courage to actually remove the person, or remove the behavior. Can you write this? Remove the behavior, not the person. Remove the behavior that is spoiling the team. Remove it. If you are not, if you are a teacher who has a problem of discipline in the class, your levels of discipline, your own level of discipline is super low. Super low. Because you don't have the courage to be disliked. And that's why you don't have the courage to remove the disruptive behaviors. But this can also happen with the members of like the director of the school. How can we remove the disruptive behavior? And it comes with discipline. Creating environments, it's difficult because sometimes we have to be disliked, accept to be disliked. But if you dare, everything will be okay. And this time, I will tell you something. I'm working in the United States as a teacher. And here, the students in Latin America are very, very different from the students in the United States, in the sense that in Latin America, students still, some are very respectful for the teachers. Here, the students, if they want, they can respect you, and if they don't, they won't. But in one of the classes there were these guys disrespecting the class. It was a high school, and I told them, I'm sorry, I have been hired here to look for the good well-being of everybody in the class, not only for 2 or 3. So if you don't stop your behavior, I will have to remove you. And they would continue. And then I told them, well, so you won't want to collaborate with the class. And they would not pay attention to me. And so then I said, okay, so I already told you 3 times, and then I will have to call the office. The office is like, and so I called the office. People from the office came, they removed them, and they demoted them because they were in the basketball league. So they could not play basketball in that season, and they were so angry and so mad. But when they left, other students in the class told me, teacher, you just you has just earned your respect in this school. And you know what? We appreciate it because we are tired of those guys. Can you imagine what happened? And the next day, I ran into one of them, and one of them says, I am the student who you sent to the office, and I'm not playing basketball anymore. And I said, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know you were a basketball player, but I'm sure you're going to do better in the next season when you come back next year. And he says, I promise I will. So, what it takes to have discipline, everybody? What do you think it takes to elevate your levels of discipline? What does it take? Have the courage to be disliked. Have the excellent, not any type of courage, the courage to be disliked. It's the only thing, but with good intentions. And the good intentions is your levels of service. The service for me, it was to these students, of course, but the service was more to the whole class. The 20 other students who were there wanting to behave, wanting to work. So I made a service to them. And what did I do to make a service to them? I had the courage to be disliked by these three. And I knew I was going to run into them next day. So in your places, in your family, with your children, do you have the courage to be disliked by your own children? Some parents have children who are 25 years old and they buy them PlayStations and they are flunking their courses in the university and they are paying with the credit card the PlayStation. Stuff like that happen and you know better. So the courage to be disliked, that's the name of the book. It's the name of there is a book and it's the audio book is in it's by a Japanese writer and he uses all the principles of individual psychology. Okay, one last idea so that you actually, I always say this, I like to say it in Spanish, I don't know if it has the same translation. If you want to do something this year, do only one thing. Possess yourself. Possess yourself. Do you understand this? Do you know what it means to possess yourself? I mean, to empower yourself, to know yourself, but possess yourself is to master yourself, in the sense of know who you are. Who are you? Know who you are. Yes. And I will give you the best knowledge or the best test of knowing who you are is in conflict. When you have conflict, and with this I'm going to finish. When you have in moments of conflict, in moments in which you really feel that you are against the courts in the ring, pay attention on how you handle your emotions. And in these moments of crisis, do only one thing. Check whether you, number one, whether you freeze, whether you fright, or whether you fight. What is your situation? I'm going to tell you examples of freezing. A freezing is somebody like my colleague is not doing his job. We have to plan together. I am submitting my lesson plans, but he is not. This is a conflict. If I didn't train the courage to be disliked, then I'm going to freeze and I'm not going to say anything. But my heart wants to say it. My heart really wants to say, but I can't because I have not trained my courage to be this light. Fright, fright. When my wife, they like to talk a lot. Women, we like to talk a lot. When my wife wants to fight, I go to my room. Or when my wife wants to talk about something like an issue that's pressing the marriage. No, let's talk tomorrow. No, let's talk tomorrow. Let's talk tomorrow translates into the many emails that you have not answered because those emails are uncomfortable. So this is a fright thing, or a fight, and the fight is, it could be positive or negative. The fight could be, I fight, but like revenge. This is the positive, the negative. I revenge. If somebody does something to me, I will take revenge. And so, but if you know how you respond, you will get peace inside, because you will know who you are, and you're going to have like everything on the table, and your behavior will not be anymore a taboo. Okay, my dear friends and colleagues, it's 1:30, and I know you have a lot of other things to still complete, but I really deeply appreciate you being here with us, because this means a lot for us to make you happy, and to give you more tools to build a life that you enjoy the most.